Hello, all my JavaScript friends. This is the Virtuoid, aka Mike Smith, and this is our jigsaw puzzle game. Well, we're finally here. This is the UI class. This is the class that will be responsible for interacting with the browser and drawing everything on the screen. The UI class communicates with the game class and the game class with the UI class, so everybody knows what everybody's doing. You know, the game class will tell the UI, hey, draw this screen. The UI will say, hey, somebody did a drag and drop on this puzzle piece. And, you know, what do I want to do with it? And the game will come back and say, I want you to place it here. Or, oh, these two pieces connected, so move both of them together. You know, things like that. This is actually part one of a two-part video. This is going to go through the class itself and how it interacts with the game. The second part is going to show the game itself in conjunction with the code. So let's get to it. Well, first of all, it's called UI. It's no big deal. But the whole purpose of this is for game to be able to initialize everything, and then for it to be able to then talk to the UI, and the UI talk to the game. And all that is done within this dispatch event. UI has access to the game and can dispatch event on the game, and the game has access to the UI and can dispatch events on the UI. Run methods on the UI. Very, very simple. So basically, just very quickly to go over it again, the game one particular initializes all of our different databases, and we talked about the databases in the last video. The most important thing here is that we do the new UI. So we initialize the UI that will allow us to be able to talk to the UI on an ongoing basis, and that's inside the initialize. So we call the initialize. The UI then comes back and says, "Oh, you want me to initialize? Okay." Here's where, by the way, here's where the UI constructs itself. Notice it also has a new image, new cut, and new pieces, as does game. They are designed as singleton instances, so once game has created it, once UI wants to create it again, it just returns the same instance, so everybody's talking to the same database. But the initialization, this is where we basically say, okay, where are all the different buttons that we need to get a look at? Here they are. Let's go ahead, now that we got the buttons, let's go ahead and add event listeners to them. All right, where are all the different pieces to the screens? Like, for instance, this is the blank screen. This is that, let me just bring it up on the screen here. This is this blank screen. This is the very beginning of the screen itself. Puzzle information, this is puzzle information as it's going along there. You'll see that within the second video. This is the puzzle. Once the puzzle is displayed upon the screen, right now it just had the jigsaw puzzle, and the puzzle wrapper itself, which is a wrapper around the different puzzle. I get something up to the main. This is different pieces of information within this puzzle information section that allowed me to very quickly change each individual piece inside there. Here's the statistics, where we're setting the DOM on the statistics, and this will again allow me for statistics to be able to do whatever it has to do there. And finally, we have the mouse down, mouse move, and mouse up. This is where all the dragging and dropping is going to be done. So initialize on the UI side is very, very important. This allows me to tie in all the different events that I'm going to be needing for, you know, displaying the screens, clicking on the buttons, or dragging and dropping the mouse. Game has come back and done its initialization. So the first thing it's going to do is it's going to say, I'm ready to go here. Let's dispatch an event. Everything is done through events. Now, I will have to admit here, unfortunately, I didn't do this as well as I would like to have, and I'll cover all that in the post-mortem. I should have been very strict about the events going back and forth, but unfortunately, I really didn't do that. But be that as it may, here we go. We're going to send it an event begin, which basically means that we're going to say event begin. That basically means that, hey, I need you to do something. So we're going to call event begin. We go all the way down here to event begin. We set a status, we reset the moves and the statistics, and then we go the UI render. So this is the first time. So basically, the game has done the initialization that it has to do. So now it's going to go over to the UI and say, hey, you need to do some initialization too, and I want you to render using this status. And this is my status right now, is the game status begin. So the render command then on the UI, which is located right here, is going to figure out what we need to render. And again, my communication between the two is not quite as strict as I would like for it to have. So right now we just have one thing. That's begin, game status begin. We begin the game. And let's go ahead and take a look at that. Begin the game basically says, oh, I've got certain buttons that are enabled, certain buttons that are disabled. If you take a look at the jigsaw puzzle, you can see those are here, new and exit are enabled. All the rest of them are disabled. So that's what it does. And then it just basically does a couple, removes hidden from class list or adds it. It's no big deal there. And once it finishes up, it's going to return a code saying render status begin, saying, okay, I am now finished. So if event begin had saved that information, it would be able to know it has finished up. So it's done the event begin, and now it's basically just waiting for it to do something. At that point, we're going to have to click on some sort of button. And that's where, of course, all of these different add event listeners have come on in. Notice each one I've done a certain pattern: on new, on start, on pause, on continue, on exit, on cancel. Just like JavaScript has they're on this, on that. I've done the same thing here. So let's just go through those really quick. If we do an on new, I'm dispatching an event to the game that basically says, hey, this person has clicked on the new button. You tell me what to do. And then game is going to go back through and say, oh, okay, I've got a game status event new. So let's just go over there. Game status event new. Dip, 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 dip. I'm going to run event new. And so what's going to happen on event new? Well, let's go back and find out. There's event new. It's going to get all of the images through promises. It's going to get all the cuts through promises. It's going to get all the select none pieces through promises. And then once it finishes everything up, it's going to call UI new game. So it's loading up all the different images for us and everything. And then it's going to go back over to UI and say, hey, here's a new game. You do whatever you want to do from a UI point of view. And the UI is going to sit there and go, okay, no big deal. What did it call? Okay, it called new game. So let's go over to new game. Let's find new game. There's new game. Going to change all the different buttons. It's going to close out my blank screen, and it's going to do a new game show. And this new game show is going to display the dialog box with the image list, the cut list, and a num piece list. And I'm not going to go through that. Well, actually, what the heck? Let's just go through it real quick here. So num game. So can I find it in time? No, I cannot. What was the routine again? Oh, new game. Okay, let's go back up, find new game. Let's go back down, find new game. It's got to be here somewhere because it said this. Finish up, mouse down, this, that new game. Oh, yeah, that's right. New game. Yeah, new game is actually the dialog box. So new game is the dialog box that we found that we loaded up here with all this different information. And then did we load it up? Oh, there it is, right there. Ta-da-ta-da. So new game is the dialog box. That is in a file called new game, which we've loaded in. So here's the dialog box itself. It's no big deal. I'm not going to go through this, but this basically puts that new game dialog box and returns to us the three different things that they have selected. So oops, let's kill that real quick. So then UI does the new game. Now, I went through those in very great detail because the whole idea here is that there's a constant communication between game and UI. The game responsibility is to be able to do the business logic, or what we call the business logic. Hey, I've got a piece that just got moved, a pixel here, a pixel there. I need to make sure it's been dropped. I need to make sure it's connected, or I have moved it. It's supposed to move with another piece, so I need to be able to move that to the other piece. And then it needs to communicate back to the UI saying, hey, I need you to do something. And so let's just go through what some of these different routines do. Now, all of these on exits, on new, on start, on pause, on continue, notice each one of them has a dispatch event. This is all the different clicks that have occurred on the buttons. Because we got to tell, once the button is clicked here, we got to be able to tell the game, hey, they've clicked on something, you tell me what to do. And once the game has figured out what it wants to do, it then comes back to the UI and says, okay, I need you to do this, that, and whatever. Like, for instance, this is the begin game. This gets us to our first screen. This is the new game. This gets us to the dialog box that you see up on the screen. Ready game, this is basically what we display when we display the puzzle up on the screen. And this is where we actually do the cutting. This does the cutting itself. This is our declared cut. And this is one of the reasons that if you take a look at the all the different cuts that we had there, all of them had the exact same methods and the exact same properties. And by doing that, all we have to do is just get a particular mapping and find out what a declared cut is, and then basically do a new. And we know that the same methods will work no matter if we have a square cut or if we have a jigsaw cut. It's called basically a factory pattern. And that just allows us to be able to, not have to worry about, oh, if I got a square cut, I got to do this. And if I have a jigsaw cut, I got to do that. No, we just do, hey, this is my declared cut. I expect them all to have the same type of methods and the same properties. How they do the cuts and things like that, I couldn't care less. All I cared about is I want to be able to render something. So we get we push our images. We make sure we want to get our images and get our cuts. And once they have finished processing, we grab all that data. We grab our declared cut. We cut our puzzle. We set up our puzzle configuration. We then set the DOMs, set the checking points, and I went through checking points and all that kind of fun stuff in previous videos. We set the position of the different pieces. All this piece does basically is that we're now setting the physical position of the pieces. Here's where we shuffle the puzzle. And again, we're going it straight on the table. And then we're replacing the children in the puzzle. And then this is where we actually physically put that piece on the canvas. And once we've done that, we do a whole bunch of UI things to get attributes set up correctly, get text content set up correctly, hide certain things, show certain things, all that kind of fun stuff like that. So that's basically what Ready Game. So at this point, the puzzle is up on the screen. In fact, let me show that to you here real quick. So if I was to go, with this puzzle with a jigsaw cut in 12 pieces and I hit continue, this is the ready screen. This is the screen that we see for the ready. And then all we have to do is go through the start game. That's when we click on the start button. We start the timers. We set a mouse down here. This is what we do when we do the pause game. This is what we do when we do continue. What we do when we do cancel, which is not implemented yet. So that's something we'll need to do. If they click on exit, that's what we do for the exit game. Once the game is finished, this is what happens when the game is finished. This will update how many pieces are remaining. So once a piece is connected, we got to be able to tell, our number of pieces. Once we get the number of pieces, we got to decrement that. This is the most important thing. This is our mouse down, mouse move, and mouse up routines. All these routines here controls the drag and drop. Get that. There we go. All this controls the drag and drop that occurs when we drag and drop the different pieces. When we do the mouse down, notice the important thing here is that when we do the mouse down, we add the mouse move and mouse up. So when we do the mouse move and mouse up, we have to be able to tell it that we're going to move the pieces relatively. When we do the mouse move and mouse up, we don't need these events unless the mouse is down. So I don't activate the events until the mouse is down, but I deactivate them once I do the mouse up, because we don't need to have any of those once we do the mouse up. Once that happens, I tell the game that the piece is moved, and the game will need to tell me what needs to be done. And then finally, we just get a mouse event element. So I got to know whether they clicked on the span or they clicked on the canvas or whatever. And so I got to be able to return the span each and every single time, no matter what. And that just makes life a whole lot easier. So that's basically part one of the UI. It's a little complicated, but the whole key here is that the idea, and this is the most important part, is that something happens no matter what happens, whether they've clicked on a button or they have pause. Where is it? Whether they clicked on a button or they have finally finished moving a piece. We always have to tell the game that something has occurred, and that's the most important thing. And then once the game knows something has occurred, then it will go ahead and tell the UI, I've taken care of everything I want to be able to do. You do whatever you need to get done. And that's what all of these other things like event new, start timer, increment timer, dispatching game event, things like that. That's basically all that really is to it. So that's really part one of the UI. Part two, which we'll have next, is going to cover the actual gameplay and how everything is, how it all works. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to this channel to view more videos. Click on the like button on this video and visit us at virtuoid.com. Also, support us on Patreon, where you can get access to member-only videos. Links are down below. Again, thank you very much for watching, and keep on coding.